What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the Minion Moto Show. So I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of a challenge here for whoever wants to do it. Make a video talking about yourself a little bit, you know, if you want. And if you do make the video and you do post it to your channel, hit me up and let me know, you know, whether you message me on Instagram or on YouTube, whatever, and be like, hey Minion, I made that video about myself and whatever, and I can go, you know, check it out, comment, like, and all that shit, you know. But a little bit about me is like, as most of it's blatantly obvious, you know. I was born and raised in Southern California in the desert, and you know, that's a fortunate and an unfortunate deal. The reason why is because it's fortunate because I have so much dirt out here that I can just go ride dirt bikes anywhere, go off-road anywhere, I can go hiking anywhere, and just be able to, you know, see a lot of natural beauty out there in the desert, you know. Even though there's a lot of man-made shit still around, I can still enjoy a lot of natural beauty and shit of the desert, you know. It's unfortunate because people in California kind of don't like the type of person that I am, which, you know, I'm a conservative Republican, and I'm a little bit too redneck to be a California person, but in some cases I might be a little bit too California to be a redneck, you know what I'm saying? I love country music, I like rap music, rock, or whatever. I like a wide variety of music. I love guns, you know. I fly the Confederate flag, the Gadsden flag, the American flag, of course, above and beyond all of them. I love trucks, I drive trucks, you know. I don't know if I said it, but I love guns, you know. I shoot my guns all the time on a regular basis. Out in the desert, I love playing in the dirt, you know, and whenever I have mud, I play in the mud when I can. Yeah, I mean, I ride dirt bikes, as y'all already know, because y'all have seen a lot of moto vlogs of me riding out in the desert and shit. I started my YouTube channel on May 30th of 2015. So my channel is about 5.5 years old at this time when I'm making this video. It'll be 6 years old in 2021 on May 30th. It's literally the day after my birthday, my actual birthday, which is May 29th, 1991. I also have a third birthday in May, which is May 20th of 2013, and that was when I donated my kidney, you know, to a good friend of mine that I've known for 17 years now, 18 years, something like that. I went and saw him and his girlfriend at their store, and his girlfriend, you know, she asked me on National Donate a Kidney Day, hey, would you like to donate a kidney? Her boyfriend needs one. And I said, yeah, why not? You should have asked me sooner. And, you know, over the next following week of that, we went out to Loma Linda. We did blood tests to see if our creatines would match, our blood type match, and luckily my blood type and the creatines matched. And from there I had to quit smoking cigarettes, which was a bitch. And, you know, that was in like February of 2013, and over the following 3 months, you know, we did a bunch of back and forth tests and all sorts of shit. They had to fill me with iodine to see, you know, to get pictures of my kidneys to see which one was the better one. And they left me with the one that was at 52%, and they took the one kidney that was at 48%. You know, because usually you'll have one kidney that's doing a little bit better than the other, you might sometimes have a 50-50, but usually you'll have one that's like 51% and the other's 49% usually, or something like that. And they took my one kidney, and my surgery was a 5-hour surgery. His was a 2.5-hour surgery. Within 10 minutes of waking up from the anesthetic, I was in so much agony from laying down, from having my stomach cut open in like 4 different spots, that I literally had to get up and out of bed and start walking around, which they've never seen anybody do that at that hospital. I was on the 4th floor of the hospital recovering. He was on the 7th floor recovering. I literally walked my happy ass from the one end of the hospital I was at all the way down to the other end where the elevator was, went up to the 7th floor and walked all the way back down to the other end to go see him, and then hung out with him for a couple minutes, and then did that walk back, went back down to the elevator and walked back to my room. And then I literally got out of the hospital the next day, which was, from what they said, I was the first person in like five or 6 years at that point to have gotten out of the hospital the next day after donating my kidney, because of how serious of a surgery it was. And you know, I said, well, I can't lift more than like 10 pounds because I would rip all my shit in the insides and my stitches on the outside. But I said I can't lay around. Like, I was literally, like, the next day I got out of the hospital, and I went to work. I literally went to work, and I sat at the desk and started doing paperwork and started helping customers at their store that they had, and still have at that to this day, which is nice. And so I even after going into surgery, I can't lay around doing nothing. Like, as y'all seen last year when I wrecked and I broke my wrist and my hand, my shoulder, and my big toe on my left foot, I was still out doing shit. Like, I was still trying to go riding about a week later. Like, it was driving me fucking nuts not being able to ride, you know, because I was riding like once or twice a week at that point. So, you know, I wanted to, you know, and I was still doing yard work. I was, you know, still trying to shovel gravel, even though I had like this hand at the end of the shovel, and I'm sitting there like doing, like, shoveling like this, the gravel and shit, or doing like the river rocks and shit. I was just grabbing the rocks and just doing them one by one with my left hand and whatever the fuck. So you know, do I hate California? I just hate the fact, you know, about California, the fact that it's such a one-sided state for the most part, and there are a lot of people out here that kind of feel the same way as I do, you know, but they're so far away from me that it's not even funny really for the most part. And you know, trying to find the one or two around here that kind of think the same, it's like a dime a dozen, you know. It's like, you know, trying to find one, like a needle in a haystack, you know. So, but I hate the things I hate about California is, like I said, it's so far one-sided. You know, there's no leeway there at all, really, for the most part. The taxes here are so fucking high. The cost of living here is so high. Yeah, we do have a high minimum wage, but the thing is the minimum wage went up because of the fact that the cost of living went up with it, but also the cost of living went up because of the minimum wage. They play off of each other, you know. We have some of the highest gas prices in the country for the most part. I mean, the state itself is beautiful. I mean, you got oceans, you got deserts, you got forests, you got national parks and shit. You got all sorts of shit out in California to do. It's just, you know, you got so many different types of people. You got the valley girls, like, oh my god, you know, fucking drinking Starbucks with my little gold iPhone, my little fucking 2-pound Chihuahua, driving mommy and daddy's BMW, to, you know, the fuckers that will, you know, riot and loot and all this shit because of all sorts of shit. And but yeah, y'all already know about California. But you know, I drive a 20-year-old truck that literally just hit 176,000 miles this morning. You know, literally this morning. I'm at like 173,006 miles or something right now on that truck. You know, I'm not afraid of hard work. I actually love to work. I'm one of those rare millennial finds because, you know, I mean, I am classified as a millennial, the lazy, rude, disrespectful fucking generation for the most part. But, you know, I'm 29 years old, about to turn 30 next year. And, you know, I've done construction. I've dug trenches by hand with a little trenching shovel that's 3 foot deep around proper, like a regular 1/4 acre property, a 5 acre property, a couple of 10-acre properties, going all the way around, and then branching off, like going every 10 feet and digging another trench 5 to 10 foot long, go down another 10 feet, dig another trench out this way 10 feet, and then having to run all the wiring around there, and running all, you know, all the conduit and, you know, all this shit to where we can hook all the lights up to a fucking big control panel basically type box. And, you know, I've done shoveling, like shoveling gravel, shoveling dirt, planting trees, trimming bushes, and I don't mind being out there getting dirty and shit like that and doing hard work, you know. I mean, and, you know, I've changed. Like, when I was in auto shop in high school, I was always the first one up, being like, yeah, let me change those tires, let me go work on change that dude's oil. I was always the first one up and out, like, yeah, let me be that one to do that, let me go do that, let me do that, you know, because I just love getting dirty, doing dirty work, and fucking, you know, working hard. I just, you know, I got my days where, on very rare occasion, where I want to be able to sleep in and be left alone and not really do shit. But then even on those days, I'll hang around for a little bit around the house, and I get bored, and I'd start looking for something to fucking do, whether it's go out, wash my truck, or wash my dirt bike, or try to find something to do out in the yard, something, you know, just to, because I can't, you know, I need to rest once in a while like everybody does, but I can't sit still that long. And that's why a lot of times in my videos you see me like looking around or moving my hands a lot, because it's like I can't sit still for that long, because it's just like I always have to be doing something in some way, shape, or form. But, you know, and it's not ADHD or ADD or some type of bullshit. It's just I'm just like a high energy type person in a way, even though, you know, I'm kind of soft spoken for the most part in a way. But, or, you know, I'm kind of like a soft spoken but high energy type person. Like, in a party, yeah, I'll be kind of that guy standing around on the sidelines, just kind of, you know, enjoying myself, but watching everybody else, what they're doing, and maybe having a beer or two, whatever the fuck. And now if I'm out in the desert in Ocotillo Wells or something like that, then I'll be like, fuck yeah, whatever. I'll be talking, because that's my world. My world's like being out in the desert doing my own thing, whether it's by myself or with other people. And like I've said before in one of my other videos, I feel more relaxed out in the desert at 3 a.m. than I do in the middle of a downtown of, you know, in the middle of the day around people. Yeah, I enjoy being around people, but I can only be around people for so long, you know, unless if we're doing something like riding, because then I'm not technically with them, but I am with them and whatever, you know. But we're all doing something that I greatly enjoy doing, like ride. Like, I'm not one of those bike life fuckers, because that bike life shit is kind of fucking retarded in my opinion. But yeah, riding dirt bikes is my life basically, right? I mean, if I could make money riding dirt bikes and making YouTube videos, you know, I mean, I would be out there every gosh damn day. And if people wanted me to do product reviews or whatever, or talk about their brand, and I got free shit for it and maybe a couple bucks or whatever, then I would be the happiest fucking person, because I'd be out in the desert where I'm comfortable at every single day, testing products or talking about products, or you know, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I would give my honest opinions with shit like that, you know, like my IMS 3.5 gallon gas tank on my dirt bike. That was a great 300 and some odd dollars that I spent for that thing. The Shinko tires that I have on my bike, you know, they're great tires. I mean, and I'm not getting paid to say that. The only downside to the Shinko tires that I found was like with the Shinko 525 cheater that I have on the rear. Once you get down to 50% tread life or less, the thing kind of starts to suck in the soft sand. And I think that's like it is with every tire, but I've noticed my back tire likes to spin a lot more in the sand when it's 50% or less tread with those 525s, and it is a little bit, you know, more squirrely when it is worn out. But I think that's kind of typical for all tires, right? But whatever. You know, the Luxon handlebar mounts that I have on my bike, those things look great. They're holding up. I don't feel any flex in them, and I actually feel like my bars are a little bit more sturdy now. You know, those hand guards that I have are kind of weird, because they need to be bent up a little bit in a certain way, because my handlebars are kind of tilted down a little bit towards me, and I want to have them tilted up a little bit. So that means I'm gonna have to, the sidebars of the hand guards are gonna have to be bent up this way a little bit for me to be able to roll the bars forward a little bit. But I'll worry about that later on, because I need some heat and heat them up a little bit and then bend them a little bit, and it's going to take a long time to kind of really do that. And I don't want to completely destroy the things and have to spend another 30 bucks on buying a new set, so I might just have to kind of deal with the bars being back a little bit. But you know, you know, I'm not really big on being in the cities or of any size, unless if it's kind of a small town. I would love to buy my own piece of property out in the middle of nowhere, you know, have a little, I don't need the biggest house, I just need like one of those you know, shed looking type houses, you know, with like 1 or 2 bedrooms, as long as I have a bathroom and a kitchen, you know, as long as I have water and electricity, I'm pretty good on that, you know. So that way I can run air conditioning during this, you know, summer, have my fans on in my room while I sleep, you know, have a refrigerator or two so I can have food and water and a couple of beers, whatever, you know. So I'd have solar panels on there, whatever I gotta do. If I have to have charcoal barbecue or a gas stove, whatever, I don't care either way, as long as I'd be able to cook food and shit. I think I just want one of those big garages where I can store a couple cars in there, have a couple of toolboxes with all sorts of different types of like hand tools, and maybe a couple of power tools, you know, to cut some wood if I need to, and like a welder, maybe a tube bender, you know, maybe like a circular saw for wood, a circular saw for metal and stuff like that, maybe an air compressor, you know, just your basic stuff that you would need in the garage to fix stuff, right? And enough property to not have to worry about being anywhere near people and have, you know. But that's just it. But so that's basically, you know, the majority of it. I started riding dirt bikes when I was about 10 years old. You know, my first bike was a little RM 1992 Suzuki RM80 two-stroke. You know, long story short, the guy I bought it from screwed me over. I paid $900 for it because with my own money at 10 years old, because I was saving up for cycling. I was doing work around the house for my grandparents and some neighbors and shit back then, and you know, I saved up my money. I saved up to like $1,500 or something like that. Paid the guy $900 for it. Screwed me over. I needed to rebuild the top end. The guy gave me $400 back and gave me basically a brand new pair of boots that he bought for his kid that he only wore like 2 or 3 times because he grew out of them. And so, and I think he gave me some extra parts that he forgot that he had for the bike, and you know, some riding gear. So I had a pair of boots, riding pants, and a jersey from him that were all technically brand new. The kid only wore them a couple times and grew out of them. And then I had to go buy myself a helmet, goggles, and gloves, and I spent like $400 getting the whole top end rebuilt. And DTS, the guy actually bored it out from an 85 to a little 100, which was, you know, made that thing freaking faster and shit. And you know, new spark plug in there, new bearings, all that shit in there on the top end or whatever it needed. And it had the stock pipe on it, and they actually they had some aftermarket exhaust in there that I paid like $200 for the whole exhaust system. That it was used or whatever, but it was still in like really good shape. So got my $400 back from the guy I had. Paid $500 for the bike, paid $400 to get the top end rebuilt, another $200 for that exhaust. So I paid what, $1,100 for it all together after that. But I had basically $300 worth of brand new gear as well, and probably another $300 or $400 worth of parts that the guy gave me, like handlebar sprockets, chains, like 1 or 2 tires, you know, a couple of things, you know, a couple of spark plugs. I think so, a thing of 2-stroke oil and a thing of engine oil or something like that. But I burned through all 3 of the rear tire that was on it. I burned through that. I burned through one of the tires that the guy gave me, and then I had burnt through the front tire, so I had to buy a new front tire for that. By the time I got done burning through the new front tire and the 3rd rear tire, I ended up wrecking on my 13th birthday, which was the first time I ever wrecked, and I broke my left leg. I spent 10 minutes riding and 3 hours in the hospital getting a cast put onto my left leg. And so I fucking tacoed the front rim on it, blew out half the spokes. The hub was still good, so what I did was, while I was healing up, I took the front wheel off. I just pulled all the spokes off the wheel. And the inner tube exploded and blew a big hole in the sidewall, but I needed to replace the tire anyhow. So I threw all that shit away and I kept the hub. I went over to DTS again. This was before Gabe owned it and he was the mechanic. I ordered a black wheel with black spokes and spoke screws, and ordered another front tire and rear tire. And actually they had tires there, so I didn't need to order tires. I ordered a tube, so I bought that. I took the rear wheel off at the same time, and I took it in there and had them. I took a new rear sprocket and a new rear sprocket as well that the guy gave me. I had him build the new wheel, the front wheel with the new wheel and spokes with the stock hub, put the new tire on there with the new tube, have him swap out my rear sprocket because I needed him to swap out the rear tire anyhow. So just do it all at the same time. Got him back, and by the time I got all that shit done, I had my cast off. They said walk around on it for about a week. So yeah, I ended up, you know, doing that, and later on, when I was about 14-ish, I ended up selling that bike. And my dad had a 1996 Yamaha YZ125 two-stroke. I bought it from him, you know, for like, I don't know, $600, $700, $800 or something, whatever I got for my little RM80. And that helped him, you know, go buy a 2000 Honda CR125, you know, which was some kid's race bike. It was a Honda. Had number 17, and it was a blonde kid, in which, you know, now that I look back on it, I think it was Justin Barsha that I bought it from, like way back in the day, you know, before he went pro and everything like that. It was like one of his, right, because if you look back, Justin Barsha used to be number 17 Honda, and he was a blonde guy. And you know, the kid that my dad bought that bike from was a blonde kid with a Honda number 17, and it kind of, from what I can kind of remember, the kid kind of looked like Justin Barsha. So anyways, my dad bought it for $2,000. We bought it back, went right. The kid beat the shit out of the thing, you know, gave us a bunch of extra plastics, an extra set of wheels for it, you know, a bunch of sprockets, chains, handlebars. He had FMF exhaust on it, you know, pipe and silencer, and he had another full FMF exhaust system and a pro circuit exhaust system they gave us for the bike too. An extra carburetor, a couple other things, you know, some extra spark plugs and all this shit. And the guy, like, it kind of seemed like it was too good to be true, right? Because they were just giving us so much shit for this bike, and they were like, you know, the kid was just kind of like standing off, being quiet, and dad was just handing us parts and left and right and all this shit and whatever. So after my dad taking it out a couple times trying to ride it, you know, kept dumping water, all this water and oil, and my dad ended up having to spend like $2,800 to completely rebuild the entire fucking engine, top and bottom end. And you know, we did it through DTS. We ended up boring the top end out from a 150 or a 125 to like a 160. Like, I know that's kind of sounds weird, but it was like about it was bigger than a 150. So, you know, and he had like a little bit of a I don't know, there was something there. He really made that thing like fucking fast for what it was, right? For, you know, being a 2000 Honda 125 two-stroke, you know, like, you know, that thing was faster than shit after it got completely rebuilt. He re-geared it in the whole gearbox and everything. And so we rode those for a couple years. I ended up selling the Yamaha 125 to a guy that my dad worked with. Bought the Honda 125 from him. He went and bought a Honda 250 two-stroke from Gabe for about $2,000. We had those for years, you know, and I ended up selling the Honda 125 in like beginning of 2015. You know, I put it on the market at the end of 14 because I wasn't really riding it as much, and I didn't have a truck at the time. You know, I just got my truck in, because I went from like 2011 to 2013 without a truck, and I got a truck, the truck I have now, in November of 2013. So it's been 7 years now since I've owned that truck. Yeah, 13 to 14 to 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19 to 20. Yeah, so I've owned that truck for 7 years. So there was like about a 1 or 2 year period where I wasn't really able to ride the bike except for like around the block or whatever. Finally got the truck, went out riding a couple times. I ended up fencing off my favorite place that I used to ride at, so I wasn't able to go riding out there. And I didn't really know anywhere, like remember really anywhere else to go. And I, you know, because I was new to like riding by myself at that point, so I didn't really know where to go riding by myself without getting messed with. So, and I needed the money. I didn't have the money to really I had the money to maintain it and all that shit, but I was working from like 4:30 in the fucking morning till like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I went to another job from like 5 o'clock at night till like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and then got home, went to bed by 10 o'clock, and got, you know, maybe 5 hours of sleep every night from like 10 to 3, maybe 10 to 3:30. Woke up, took a shower, and went back to work, you know, 5 days a week, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then, or yeah, Thursday, Friday, no, Friday through Tuesday I did that, and then Wednesday and Thursday I was working at the other job that I went to in the afternoons, so I really didn't have time to go riding, and I didn't want my bike just sitting there, you know, going away, so I sold it, you know, used the money to, you know, fix a couple of things I had wrong with my truck, like buying tires at the time and shit like that. So I went all of 15, all of 16, and all of 17 without a bike. And that's why I kind of started my YouTube channel, because I would go on YouTube, you know, like I said in past videos, when I was a kid, in high school and even after high school, just to listen to music. Then I got off of it, and then in the end of 2012, beginning of 2013, I started going on it just to, you know, listen to music, whatever. Then I started looking up dirt bikes, right? And then I found Jake the Garden Snake in 2012. At the end of 2012, I found Jake the Garden Snake. Started watching all of his videos, because I started looking up dirt bikes, dual sports, shit like that. And he's like the grandfather of motovloggers, right? So I found his channel, started watching him. I didn't like I tried to subscribe to him, but I didn't know shit about YouTube, and like you have to sign in. I tried to sign in, I didn't like, you know, so it was like 2.5 years before I ended up making my channel and subscribing to, you know, Jake the Garden Snake. I found Suburban Delinquent, Do It With Dan, you know, 6'4" Honda, Motonosity, and a lot of these, you know, Chase on 2 Wheels, Yummy R6, and all these guys. And I really started getting into, you know, all this YouTube shit, and over the years I've kind of unsubscribed and went away from a lot of these bigger YouTube channels, because I started getting bored with it. It wasn't really necessarily the type of moto vlogs I was into. Like, I was into Jake the Garden Snake stuff, I was into Do It With Dan and Suburban Delinquent, but I wasn't really in. But even, you know, even with Suburban Delinquent, I got a little bit bored with his stuff too, but I still watch it, right? And I'm subscribed to him still, and his second channel, Extra Delinquent, and I watch more of his off-roading shit than I do his street riding stuff, but I still give him the benefit of the doubt. I still watch his street riding videos once in a while, and, you know, I'm still subscribed to him. Then I found Vroom Vroom Dana, Joey Mack, Girl on Her Bike, you know, shit like that, and I started, you know, making my own videos. Like, my first video, which I deleted, was of Robbie Knievel jumping over here at the casino over like 30-40 golf carts, and I ended up having to delete that channel, or that video, and like 1 or 2 other videos, because they had music in the background. I did not get flagged for it, but YouTube caught the music and whatever, but, you know. And so, yeah, that's why my channel is only 5.5 years, or 4.5, well, let's see, May of 13, or 15 to 16 to 17 to 18 to 19, 20. Yeah, so my YouTube channel is only about 5.5 years old right now. Yeah, 15 to 16 to 17 to 18 to 19 to 20. Yeah, so 5.5 years old. So my channel's not really a baby channel really anymore. My channel would be considered like a teenager or young adult type channel, but it's still a baby channel compared to some channels like Jake the Garden Snake, who's been around since 2006, 2007 or something like that, or whatever it was. And, you know, I made it, that one video I had of, you know, of Robbie Knievel jumping had like maybe 600 views on it, which wasn't that bad, right? But it was the only video I had for like a year and a half, until like the end of 2016, when I found a couple of videos on there, or no, till the end of about like right before SCMM of 2016, because I found a couple of little 10-second clips from my kidney donation awards and shit that I threw on there just for the hell of it. And then I ended up starting, I made a couple of videos of everyone riding into town for SCMM of 2016, because in 2015 I went to the SCMM in 2015, 16, 17, 18, and 19, so I went to all 5. But in 2015 I didn't really know anybody that was there, so I didn't know who to look for, so I was only there for about half an hour to an hour, just kind of hanging around, saying hi to random people or whatever, and you know, seeing what it was all about. Then I left, you know, because I didn't know anybody and I felt out of place and whatnot. So, you know, 2016 SMM, I had maybe like 5 or 6 videos up. You know, they're like little 5-10 second videos from the kidney donation award videos and Robbie King Evil. Then I started making a couple little videos of everybody riding in on 2016 at SCMM, you know, and I made a couple other little videos here and there about random shit, you know. And for all of 2016, all of 2017, I made very few videos. And then 2018 come around, I got the bike I'm on now, the 2018 KTM 250 SX. Started making more videos with my cell phone, because I had YouTube on my cell phone, so I was able to just, you know, download it right to my channel right then and there. And, you know, started doing couple of live streams here and there. And then Randy, my friend Baby Randy Rides, sent me a GoPro Hero 4 Black with a microphone adapter and a microphone and some mounts. So I was able, and within the first week of me getting it, I ended up making 11 videos and posting them all in the first week, basically, because I didn't realize that you should only post maybe 1 video a day, maybe 2 at the max. And there was days where I would post 3 or 4 videos in one day, you know. Like I would post 3 videos one day, 2 the next day, 2 the next day, you know. Like I posted like 11 videos within like the first week or 2, you know, of getting that camera. And that's when my shit really started going crazy, because I started making a lot more videos throughout all of 2018. 2019 comes, I wrecked, which was my most recent wreck, and I thank God and knock on wood. And that put me out of commission for about 6 weeks. I had like 20 videos saved up. I started doing a daily upload every day for 3 weeks. I did for 21 days. And I was completely out of content at the end of that little stint there. And I just, you know, kind of struggled a little bit with making content a little bit, because I had no camera. And then 2 ATVs in our life, I thank you, because y'all sent me another camera, and that didn't really, I still have it, which is good. There was a little bit of a few tweaks with it. I had to figure it out. I didn't have the right mic adapter, which Sab Crazy, thank you for sending me the right adapter for it. The thing, I had to make like a 10-second video, shut the camera off completely, and then turn it back on, and I can only make 1 video, no matter if it was boring or long or whatever. Like, I had to make that 1 video with it, but it kept me going, it kept me rolling, and it worked good enough for what I needed to do. And, you know, I will still occasionally use it. You know, I just don't really use it all that often, just because, you know, my computer doesn't really like switching back and forth between this camera and that one. But yeah, now we're doing daily videos, and that's where I'm at now. So I thank y'all for enjoying the Minion Moto Show. I love y'all. Catch y'all on the flip side like always. Stay humble, stay loving, stay respectful, helping neighbors, help out strangers, be kind to one another, and always have a big heart for people, and especially animals. And I hope you enjoy this video, and I apologize for it being long. If you want to make a video about yourself, please do it. If you don't, I don't blame you. But if you do, please just let me know. That way I can go watch it and give you a thumbs up. Catch you guys on the flip side like always.